Hey guys, welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my cactus live stream. Cactus seedlings. I have a lot of them here. I have chili again that I wanted to show because this one and this one we might have to repot it sometime soon. Maybe today. I brought new soil and I brought a lot of seedlings that need to be watered. Little cactus seedlings that just need a little bit of extra care and water. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So yeah, great to be back. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a great day. I brought a few chili again. I brought the seedlings that need water, and I brought some that are in the bag. I want to take most of them out of the bag. It's something that I spontaneously decided. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But great to be back. Thank you guys for joining my cactus live stream. Everyone, you're very welcome to be here. I appreciate it. So yeah, let's get started. Just want to go through my seedlings again, and then everything that is in the bag, I really want to take out if I can. I won't do it if the seedlings are too small, but I really try to now start to harden them up a little bit to make them a little hardier for later on. Not sure what this is. There's no seedling in this. Maybe I forgot. I don't know. I'll put this aside for now. Maybe this was supposed to go to the heater for sowing out. We will see. Okay. Yeah, always happy to take questions, general questions, whatever. You know the deal. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, these are just too small. I would love to take them out now. And I consider doing it. Actually, they are maybe a little bit older than 2 months. They should be bigger. I feel like they might already be able to withstand the stress to come out of the bag a little early. Yeah, but they are actually a little bit, they haven't been growing very fast. That is the problem here. But again, I want to take them out. This will come out of the bag. The bag is only to give a little humidity within the first 2 or 3 months, but then later on, I try to remove it because that allows me to start fertilizing. That allows me to water them more often. Right now they are in the bag and the water is always the same. And when you have them out of the bag, it allows you to spray them on a regular basis, give nutrients on a regular basis. It just opens more doors. So yeah, these will come out of the bag now, and I will try to spray them a few times today. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We are just discussing the cactus seedlings that I've sown out on the live stream. And yeah, opening a few up to see if they maybe can be taken out of the bag. I have them in that plastic bag within the first 2 or 3 months. But within that time, but after that time, it can be good to let the soil dry out a few times in between, you know. Hey mate, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Have a lot of stuff to do. I brought chili again. Yeah, check out the chili. I have another one here that I wanted to show you. Yesterday's chili went a little viral, not much, but a little bit, and I loved that. So yeah, I wanted to show you this one. This one was delayed, almost lost it, but it has recovered, and now I want to repot it, put it in a bigger pot. So yeah, let's get started here. Just see if I can find my tweezers. Okay, so yeah, these here, they are really, a lot of the variegated seedlings here. This looks really unhealthy. I would love to ditch them right away. Only healthy seedlings are these two here, those little greenish looking ones. Apart from that, I think it's a waste of time, but I don't want to I want to give them the chance. Sometimes a few seedlings here and there survive that where you didn't think they would. So I will give them a little bit more time, but it really bothers me that these are not growing. In comparison, I can only show you in comparison like the kind of size they should have already. So this goes back into the bag. This is probably Teleflora, and it's an intergeneric hybrid, and those just have worse genetic health sometimes. So yeah, this needs to stay, and would love to take it out of the bag already, but it's not there yet. Yeah, this one's the same. I already see it. I'm opening it up just to show, but it's a similar kind of seedling. Also, Telegonus hybrid, Zerenzia Telegonus hybrid, very delayed. Let's water them a little. I brought the water sprayer. Just a little bit, and then I'll see if I can maybe correct the position again a little bit to give them a chance, because if the little root that they have doesn't touch the soil, they have no chance. They will not make it. And sometimes after you repot it, seedlings fall over, can lean over, especially when you're watering. The watering makes the soil a lot more flexible, and that leads to seedlings just losing their stand. So yeah, this goes back in. Can take them out. They are much too small. But there are some little green ones in between that are worth waiting for. So I will close this up again. Needs another month, unfortunately. I would love to take out what I can here, so I can start fertilizing, so I can start pushing them a little. But for now, these are just too small. And these I take out now. I think I don't like how they look. I want to start fertilizing. I want to start spraying them on a regular basis. This is just not developing nicely. There were just a few different. The reason those are still in the bag, there's a reason for it. Some of them had problems. Okay, but this comes out now. I want to be able to spray it on a regular basis, letting the soil really dry out. Okay, yeah, these here are also too small. Waste of time to do anything here. I would spray them just a little bit. Maybe correct the position of that one seedling here because it's leaning over, but that's it. The rest goes back into the bag for another month. Okay. These will come out, I can already tell you that. They have an acceptable size. I'm happy with it. This comes out of the bag. Let me show you the size. This is okay. We can compensate for the loss of water. And only because they are this is sowing soil, and sowing soil is definitely a good soil that can hold the water a little bit. The big problem when you're dealing with cactus soil with little seedlings is that the faster it dries out, the more difficult it gets to have the right humidity in the soil long term for the little seedlings. So this is an intentional choice, going with sowing soil and not something that is even more fast draining like pumice. So yeah, but this comes out now. They will get fertilizer. They will be sprayed on a daily basis, giving them everything they need on a daily basis now. Not sure how long they have to be sprayed, a little bit more than usually, but definitely 7 to 10 days where I really keep an eye on them to make sure that going from humidity from the bag to outside isn't too much of a shock for them. So these here, I think we will repot them. I think we will move that into new soil at the very least. I'm not really happy how these turn out right now. They are too small. They are not growing fast, but the soil is just used up. So this will go into a new container. Let me just bring the soil that I brought. Get the soil that I brought. I have a huge pot that when I need it, I have it right under the table. Okay. And I would carefully move the seedlings from one container into another. This can come up here, just so I have a clean area, clean workplace. Okay. Gotta make sure that the pot is clean, not bringing any pests, but this looks good. Okay. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I started watering too. I'm in the middle of just spraying little seedlings and little grafting stalks and weak plants that I see that really need the water a little bit early now. So yeah, great to hear that I'm not alone. So it feels so great to have to be in the new cactus season finally. Last year I wasn't sure if I would live to see the next year, just because it was such a dark winter. It felt endless. So I'm just glad that it's coming to an end. Okay, yeah, I want to spray the new soil a little bit to make it usable, make it flexible. I don't like when soil is too dry. For one, you are always working in the dust when that happens. And also, it makes everything so much more difficult. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. If you have them, if you have the plants outside, you need to be careful. It will definitely get colder again. But yeah, if you have them protected from the rain, from snow, that could work. A friend of mine is already bringing the plants out in a few weeks. Or maybe, depending on how mild the local temperatures are, maybe even earlier than that. So I'm looking forward to the new season. But there's always that late, surprising frost, But yeah, great to have you here, mate. Thank you for joining the live stream. I appreciate it. I'm just moving little seedlings into the new soil here. These are Teleflora probably. Yeah, Teleflora. And they just go nowhere in the old soil. So I want to move them, give them, yeah, clean soil with a little bit fertilizer. Maybe some of them will start growing in that. In the old medium, some of them have barely grown at all. But Teleflora is genetically difficult. Oh yeah, that sounds that's bad. But I'm looking. It's great that the season begins so early, But that's really extreme. 30 degrees Celsius. What is the hottest that you have there? Like the maximum temperature? Sounds a little bit similar to what my friends in Australia have been talking about. Like they had 46 in summer, 46 Celsius, something like that, and was insane. I wish we would just have normal, the normal classic temperature that we used to have. That doesn't make everything so dangerous. Okay. Okay, that's great to hear. Yeah, and I'm moving these here, and some of them look bad. I might not attempt to move them all. Some of them just look like they don't even have a root. Teleflora, hybrid between Zoerensia telegona and Echinopsis irisi grandiflora. And yeah, sometimes the seedlings are just not healthy. I usually have problems with that species, growing it from seeds, because so many of them are a little weakish. And in this case, it's even a hybrid, so that makes it even worse. So yeah, giving them another chance in the new soil, and if they don't grow, I would take this thing out of the bag, and then they will have to, I don't know, grow up very fast. Sometimes a little pressure helps. We will see. But yeah, moving one after the other. Later we're spraying them to clean them, to have them nice and clean in the new soil. With Teleflora, sometimes you have to invest a lot of time to grow them. It's just not a... Like when you're growing them from seeds, sometimes grafting them early can really help. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. Okay, I'm almost done here. There are a few seedlings that are so tiny that they are barely alive. It's really hard sometimes because some of the seedlings, sometimes they have a chance, but you wouldn't think that if you just look at them. Some of those just look bad. But maybe in the new soil, some of them will turn around. So I'm moving them all now. But next time, I'm sure we will have to take some of those out that are not healthy. Yeah. Okay. So I'm spraying them now just to clean up, to have more visibility and have the soil a little bit more flexible so I can move the seedlings into it. And I'm always happy to take questions, you know. This is an interactive stream. If not, we're just going through all the seedlings that we have grown here. Stuff that we need to do on a regular basis. I have a lot that need water, that kind of stuff. That's on the plan for today. Would love to do more with the seeds that I have besides me too, but I'm not sure if the time is enough. We'll see. Right now, the seedlings just have priority because they're so fragile. The seeds can sit there for a little longer, but the seedlings that need to be moved, sometimes you don't have much time. If they are not doing well, correcting early is important. So yeah, these will go into the new soil now. And this was the first soil that we used on the live stream. This is blackish, kind of cemetery soil, just made for the display of, you know, that it is free of weeds, that it's not so fully overgrown. But this had big pieces of wood in it, like huge chunks. I had a pot that was just where there was a wood piece of that size in the pot, and that's just not good when you're sowing out the little seedlings. They like the wood attracts flies, it attracts the fungus gnats. It just holds the humidity for so long and can also contaminate the rest. So yeah, now we're working with sowing soil. Standard sowing soil that you can really get everywhere. Don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's just a good medium to sow out. And sowing soil is also with pieces of wood, or at least shredded. I think a large percentage of sowing soil is just shredded root bark. And with peat, mixed with peat, a little bit of sand, sometimes expanded clay. That's what was listed on the ingredients list. So yeah. But it really matters if you have a huge piece of, like a huge chunk of wood lying there besides a seedling, or if it's a fine medium that they can grow into. Okay, want to spray them again. We will definitely lose some of them. Some of them didn't even have a main root. Okay. Okay, and this will go back into the bag now. Now that I repotted it, it gives it a little bit more time. Have a bigger window for the seedlings to grow a little bit more. Before we take them out of the humidity, out of the bag, I would love to take them out now so I could start fertilizing, start watering more frequently. But they are just not there yet. Like if I take this out, check out the size. A lot of them would just not make it. So for now, having moved them into the new medium buys us some time, a little bit. So I will close it up again, and hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks this is okay for being taken out of humidity. Just classic spraying with water then. Always try to gradually do that change. Okay. Yeah, let's repot this one. I wanted to repot that because I brought a big pot of soil. And this here, it's just, this is too small for the chili that we have grown. Let me turn it around. Want it a little bit wet, that because everything broke when I tried to get the soil out of this thing. Sometimes when you have wet soil, it is a little bit more usable, a little bit more flexible. Okay. Yeah, and this goes into a bigger pot now. Slightly bigger. Doesn't have to be huge. I just want to give it a little bit bigger pot. And since this still has that that little pressed pet, that you know, these things that you can, these jiffy pots that you can soak with water, that thing is still there. So I'm trying to pot it in a way that it isn't visible and that it isn't a problem later on. I don't want to have that thing come out of the pot a few centimeters, because that kind of, it changes the humidity. It would have a different humidity than the rest of the pot. That thing would dry out first, and I don't like that. So I want that thing is completely covered with soil. So now I'm pressing the soil. I want to really have a fair amount of soil in that thing. I don't want to have a half empty pot. Okay, so let's clean it up a little. And then this goes back to the lamp, to my plant lamp. Check it out. Little bit bigger pot for the chili. I'm very happy. Let me see what's on the label. I saw that somewhere. This is Carolina Reaper. Yeah. So these are really spicy. When they are ripe, when they have fruit, then I will try some. For now, there's still some time until I have to eat one of them. I'm not really growing them for food. They are just cool plants. I like them. They look interesting. I like plants that can defend themselves, like cacti. So yeah, it's fun to grow them. Okay, yeah. So this was that repotting of the chili. So let's continue with the containers in the plastic bag. I would love to take this out. It's too small. Check it out. This is Hilde Winterer. Yeah, they might not grow well. Hilde Winterer, often weak, often sickly. One seedling variegated, but they are green. Some of the others are green. So I will give it a chance for now. On the long run, we will also repot them if nothing happens. If they don't grow, then eventually we will repot them just to see what they do in another soil. Sometimes the soil is just used up. Sometimes the soil has bad pH, no nutrients in them anymore. And with these, eventually we will repot them. For now, they're even too small for that. Okay, so these here, yeah, I would love to take out too. I placed one into each corner, and they are too small. They are barely growing. This is one of the containers with the difficult ones that I put together because none of them were growing. So if in this container I can save one or two, then I'm happy. Sometimes you can't save them all. But yeah, some of the seedlings don't even look bad. It's not that they look terrible. It's just that they haven't grown enough. And since there are different types of seedlings, some look better than others. Okay, I would spray them once now. Just a little bit of water here. So I can correct the position of the seedling a little bit. Okay. And I also make sure that the soil around that seedling isn't too high, too tall around the seedling. I don't want to have something that presses against the seedling from the outer parts. You need oxygen that's getting to the seedling. And if something like little pieces of soil, little pieces of wood, if something like that blocks the seedling from getting air and light, then that increases the risk of fungal infections dramatically. Okay, good. Yeah, apart from that, I mean, they are too small. At this point, they might grow, they might not grow. We will see. When you're growing cacti, like as a cactus breeder, you make hundreds of crosses every year. And some of them come out like this, and others come out like this. You know, it's just, you never know which one will be the great one that makes you famous, that creates this amazing hybrid, that creates a masterpiece. You never know which one that is. We have ideas for a hybrid cross that we make, but they don't always work out. Sometimes you bring two plants together that just don't fit, that are just incompatible. So this is takeaway container, and yeah, they're looking good in this one. Fast 12, one of the hybrids that I've worked with quite a lot right now. That might change long term, but for now I see a lot of potential in it. One of my favorite plants, and I bought that maybe 6-7 years ago on eBay, and I grafted. I bought two different plants, Fast 11 and Fast 12, and I grafted them, and they are now massive, like this, you know, and that makes them great for hybrid breeding. Every year I have 3 or 4 fruits on them, and I grow them all because they are great. They have a great flower. There's immense potential to get something amazing from them. For now, these need to stay in this thing. Need to keep the lid on. They are just a little bit too small. It would be unwise to take them out now. Not impossible, but probably not a good idea either. In this one, This is columnar mother and a flower hybrid as father. In this one, I wanna spray them for now, and then I want to move a few seedlings that I saw are leaning over, poorly positioned. I always try to correct that when I see it, because if the seedling just doesn't have a good connection to the soil, then it's very likely that you will lose it, and it could grow if someone would actually bother to turn it around, so it could grow. So that's what I'm doing here now with one seedling that I found somewhere lying there, and I feel like there could already be a little discoloration on the root of that seedling, just because they don't have much time. They don't have that those 2 weeks where they can lie on the soil without starting to rot. So yeah, I fix that kind of stuff right away when I see it. Here's also a seedling that's upside down, but it's so small that it might not be viable to keep it in. Yeah, this is too small. Sometimes you have seedlings that are just unhealthy, and I take those out because they would instantly, like after a certain time, they just fail, and that leads to fungal infection, often the beginning of these fungal infections, and totally unnecessary, because very often those seedlings don't even have a chance. You can already see it on those seedlings that they are not healthy. That's why they are so small sometimes. And yeah, apart from that, everything okay in here. They need to stay in there for a good month. I do not think that we should take them out now. These were sown on January 19th. So yeah, not that old. I try to leave them in humidity for 2 or 3 months. So they're looking good for now. This is okay. And this one, I want to take them out now. They have roughly the same size, but these are older. I've seen those. I've seen those being a problem for a while now, and I want to start adjusting them to normal room humidity. So this will come out now. I want the soil to dry out, because I had to move seedlings here, and it would really the seedlings would really benefit from soil drying out. Once you have the soil dry out, it gives everything a little bit more stability in these things here, especially in these. I feel like one problem with the takeaway containers was that they brought instability in the container. Like everything you do with this thing, when you handle it, it affects the top layer. You can break the top layer of soil, and when you're moving seedlings like this, they usually do not. You can't move the seedlings in there so easily without really putting pressure on that container. But with these, everything is flexible. Everything is made to expand with heat. Like when they put food into these, and it makes them a little bit suboptimal for growing seedlings. So yeah, this comes out just so the soil can dry out now, to give this a little bit more stability. And also, I want to start spraying them. I want to start watering them so the soil can settle a little. If you always keep stuff in the same humidity, you always have that constant kind of rainforest humidity in there. But it's not like when you're classically like spraying seedlings like this, you know. You clean the seedlings like that regular cleaning that you're doing, spraying them on a regular basis, misting the seedlings, that removes the mineral deposits from the water, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm letting this dry out now. Okay, and these come out too. I'm tired of waiting, and I don't want to wait so long that they something happens to them, like fungus gnat, you know the deal. These will come out now, and I would spray them, fertilize them. We'll do everything I can to get them so we have large plants here. 3 seedlings, and I will really do my best to save these, because this is a good kind of plant, good species. I'm spraying it a little bit of water. Later today, this will dry out within just a few hours. So later today, I will have to do the same. So this is one of the containers where the lid was removed. And this is pretty dry, needs water now. Apart from that, the seedlings look okay. You can barely see them because once you take the lid off, they will be stressed and they react with that reddish stress discoloration. But it's hard to see. But yeah, they look okay. They just need water. So these will be sprayed for now. Fertilized again next time. I try to give the seedlings, I try to spray them a few times a day. And it really depends. I look at the soil, and if I feel like the soil doesn't dry, then I'm not spraying that particular container. I really try to give the containers a chance to dry out, but only for an hour or two. And that is the difficult part. Just catching that perfect timing in between, not giving enough water. You need to have the soil needs to dry out, but it can't dry out for so long because the seedlings are really small, and they mostly consist of water. So you have to, in the beginning, make sure that they survive that. They don't have a shock. Same here. These will come out now. I want to be able to spray them. I want to be able to fertilize them without having to open that thing every time. In regards to the size, they are big enough to survive now. They should at least, if you do not make mistakes, if you keep these at the right setting and spray them at the right time, then these should make it long term. So yeah, these will be sprayed now. And long term, I hope that they will survive. I can't find the label, which really bothers me. There's no label, apparently. So this at some point, I probably transplanted seedlings and forgot to transplant the label. And I hate when that happens. But yeah, we will see what comes from them. Later on, you can often, like by looking at the body, you can roughly tell what kind of a hybrid you have there. And maybe we can find it out again. Okay. This looks okay. This looks good. They come out now. This is big enough. At this point, of course, I could keep them in there for longer. But the longer you have them in humidity, the higher the risk that something goes wrong. That one seedling has an infection, and then you already have that infection in there. And look at the soil here. Do you see the green discoloration here all around? That is moss, algae, classic stuff that happens in the containers. And at this point, I want to dry that out. Seedlings, these will do fine when they are out. I'm already looking forward. When these are getting fertilizer, they will really start to grow. You can definitely see the difference between like the fertilized seedlings and the ones that didn't get fertilizer yet. This one, there's fertilizer in the soil, but it's not much. So yeah, this comes out now. Drying out, letting the soil dry out is a huge thing. Very important, and I want to do more of that. With the few that are still in the bag, I'm starting to become a little bit impatient with them. These here, I'm torn, honestly. I'm honestly torn. I would love to take them out. They have a decent size, but they also look weak. Not really healthy the way I would love to. Let me see what it is so we can make a decision. Angelo, yeah. I think we will take them out. I think we will try to harden them up now. This is a little bit too small, but it's not impossible. We can do it. It's just the smaller they are, the riskier it is. Okay, those come out now. I want to spray them. I want to water them. If you always fear the risk, it will lead to it just doesn't lead to success the same way. When you can't play it safe sometimes. You need to start trusting in the seedlings. The seedlings need to actually start growing. And when you always have them protected in these little micro chambers, eventually you will have a weak plant that can't face the elements. So yeah, I rather try hardening them up now. So yeah, but they have to be sprayed a few times today. Okay, this is the last one that I just want to check on. Also one seedling, but this one looks weak, unhealthy, probably old seeds. If you ask me, I think that was the reason here for the poor viability. Oh, this is Teleflora, genetically unhealthiness. Genetic unhealthiness, one seedling, and that one doesn't really strike me as overly healthy. I will leave it in there for another 2 weeks, but then I consider taking it out. Okay. I really want to get rid of too many of those plastic bags now. We are getting to a stage where they should already be a little bigger. And I want to push them. Okay. Sometime soon I will sow out again. We will start sowing out again for everyone who missed it in the beginning. But yeah, right now we already have a lot of seedlings, so I try to kind of not overdo it with sowing out, because you see how many seedlings we always have to check on. In the live stream, a lot of the live stream deals with just the seedlings that we have grown. Let's see. Not yet, no. Right now I'm mostly growing Sorensia, Echinopsis, Lobivia, and Trichocero as a few columnar cacti, trying to get them with a good flower on them, trying to have a nice columnar body with a big flower, big colorful flower maybe. Apart from that, not much else. I just don't have the perfect setting in my greenhouse. Like I overwinter at relatively cold temperatures, and yeah, my space is so limited that I can't really do much else. I would love to kind of experiment around a little bit more, and if I ever get a bigger greenhouse, I will do that. But yeah, right now it takes so much space to just grow a few generations of the plants that you have, like when you're a breeder. Yeah, and space is my big issue that I have. Like all the problems that I have to do with space. You put them too close in the greenhouses because you don't have a lot of space, and then you have it takes away the light, all that stuff. I really need to build a bigger greenhouse sometime soon. Okay, yeah, these here way too small. They look interesting. This is the Arboricola Zelly hybrid that I discuss from time to time. These have potential. They could be great, but unfortunately, still too small. I consider taking them out very soon, though. This is the type of seedling, like arboricola body, where I feel like they can take it. They are a little bit hardier, and maybe we will start watering them from outside now, just keeping the lid off, and then we'll see how they develop. The moment you take the lid off, you need to be a little bit more careful about the humidity, because of the fungus gnats. You don't want to have the perfect humidity in the soil for fungus gnats, and it's a fine line. So yeah, I think we will take them out. Want to see how they do when we take off the lid now. They are pretty small, so we might have at some point, if it doesn't go well, we might have to put the lid back on. Okay, these are 2 seedlings. Here's one, and that one could actually take it, being taken out of humidity. But this one, here's the smaller one. This one doesn't. Not really giving me a lot of hope here. With that seedling on the side here. This seedling I'm not worried about. It looks like it can take it. But the other one doesn't grow. It should be much bigger already. Sometimes you just have those unhealthy crosses. Okay, so I brought a lot of seedlings that need water. So let me just start with the watering. Bring this thing back. And then we're discussing the seedlings that were just under the lamp here. This is looking okay. This seedling here shouldn't be so crooked there, and we will fix that. I will water it for that. Soil needs to be a little bit flexible. But the other seedlings look good. I like what I see here. These are okay. This is Lubivia winteriana. Okay. Yeah, Lubivia winteriana, ironically, a species that doesn't take the winter very well. So I keep those inside. Relatively low frost tolerance. Every time I lose a plant in the greenhouse, like a Lubivia, early in the season, it's usually Lubivia winteriana. They are just a little bit cold sensitive. It's a Peruvian species, but the flower is so great that it's really worth it to grow it. So yeah, for now, this is okay. I fixed that one seedling that wasn't really straight, that wasn't really having a solid connection with the soil. We're spraying them another time now, just to give them a little extra. But I'm very happy with the actual growth that I see here. Good green color. This is okay. Lubivia winteriana is one of my favorites, and I grow them. Like, I try to grow out a lot of fruits with them because I've seen so many good hybrids coming from it. Okay, these here, they are too deep in the pot. That is why today I really put a lot of energy into having a full pot full of soil, because eventually you will lose more soil when you start watering and it runs down. The soil comes out at the bottom. So yeah, these should be repotted very soon. They've been getting fertilizer, so the yellowish color is probably genetically caused. Apart from that, yeah, they need water now. But they also look healthy. It's not an unhealthy kind of growth. They just need a little bit more water long term. And the less soil you have in the pot, the faster it dries out. And that also plays a role. These are also Lubivia winteriana, by the way. Just a different cross. So yeah, very soon we will have to repot them, but that day's not here yet. They have some time. They don't look bad in that soil right now. Yeah, a little bit of discoloration here, indicating thirst, stress from the lamp, and without getting excessive amounts of water. So we would give it a little bit more now. But the seedlings look healthy. They have spines. They continue to grow. They are not dehydrating continuously, which is the big thing that I always look for. If a like to judge if a plant needs to be moved in the shade or not. Fact that they react to the lamp does not bother me at all, not in the slightest. But yeah, as long as they continue to grow, I'm not doing anything. But if I see them getting smaller and smaller, and the spines are getting bigger and nothing else, then I'd really try to change something, move them to a different spot, water them more, or put them back into the humidity. You can always move something like this back into the bag if they are dehydrating to an unhealthy degree. These have been transplanted, and for one, this is going to run out. Like the space is going to run out very fast. But for now, they stay in there, just so until they have recovered a little. They need more water now. Soil is dry, really dry. So they will be watered 2 or 3 times today. And always I try to wait for the soil to dry out, and then we're watering again. The big thing at this point, when you have them out, when you could theoretically have fungus gnats fly to them, lay eggs into the soil, at that point you want the soil to dry out. In the beginning, when you have a clean soil where you can guarantee that nothing's in it, then you can keep them wet for months. But at this point, drying out every time is a good thing. It keeps everything a little bit healthy. A lot of the bad health problems that cactus seedlings can get, they start with humidity, with too much shade, with constant wetness, cold temperatures, that kind of stuff. So letting it dry out from time to time, then watering again, it's just a healthy kind of thing for the seedlings to grow into. Hey Robert, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Hope you're all right and have a great weekend. And also everyone else. Yeah, these need water. For now they are okay. They are growing. You know, all the seedlings that we show here, they are growing. That is the big thing, the big takeaway. In my opinion, like doing things perfectly is not possible. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the seedlings sometimes don't look great in the first month or two. Like some of the sickly looking seedlings, they might not look good in the beginning, but later on, when they still made it, nobody cares. So yeah, the big takeaway is that so many of the seedlings, they are everywhere. We have barely lost any. Like in all the containers, maybe total we have lost 10 containers. That's not so many considering we have sown out like 150, 160, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so these need water. I can see the discoloration indicating stress, reddish discoloration, but also the seedlings look healthy, so I'm not worried. Okay. Yeah, watering them a few more times today. What's that? This is a Uwe Kahle hybrid. Okay. These have been repotted and the soil has already sunken in too much. I don't like that. I would have loved to, I should have added even more soil. And I already made sure that everything's full, you know? But the soil just sinks in at some point. Apart from that, I really wanted the soil to dry out, and you can see it. You can start, you finally see that there's some mineral deposits on the soil, and you often don't see them until the soil has dried up. And here you can see them. So I will water again now that everything is nice and dry, and I will let it dry up again. Later during the day, this is just a little bit in between where it's safe for the seedling and where it's dangerous. Like in between, these are not out of the weeds yet, so to speak. So I really take great care at letting the soil dry out before I water again. So this will get water now, and then later today, after the soil is really dry, then I spray it again. But this one, I think today I will only spray one more time at the most. It really depends what's going on in the container, how much water you give. Of course, you can always spray them all the same, give them all the same amount of water. But in reality, you often have different problems at different plants, at different containers. So it can make sense to really look into every container and decide, okay, does this thing need another 5 hours to dry out? Or should I water, like you don't have to water them all at the same time. If you see a problem that requires the soil to stay a little bit more on the dry side, then you can do it. Okay. So this one here is starting to get full. We might have to transplant here. And it's too deep. And that leads to dehydration because it is hard to judge how much humidity is happening down there, You barely see the soil here. So we might have to move something. Okay, I will get me a container with a little bit of soil, and then I try to move half of the seedlings into the new pot. Always getting soil from my secret pot under the desk. Okay. Okay, and I make sure that the top layer isn't big pieces, big chunks of something, big chunks of wood, that kind of stuff. I don't want that. Okay. Filling up a little filling up a little bit more. Okay, this is good now. You would be surprised how much soil you can press into a little pot. And I know that a lot of people recommend to leave the soil loose, like to have loose soil that allows the seedling to grow into it a little bit easier. But that also goes at the price of stability later on, like in the container. I like when the soil is so firm that the seedling has a solid connection to the soil, solid base. And if everything's relatively loose, the moment you start watering, everything sinks down in the pot. Okay, so I will water the container with the seedlings where I want to take out half of the seedlings. I want that soil to not break apart. I want it to stay flexible, to be flexible, and I might have to water a few times to get it to that point. And I will try to get out the seedlings here on the outside. This is dried out completely. This is not the pot, this is just the soil. So yeah. And by the way, that shows you, like I sprayed this quite a fair amount. This got quite a fair amount of water, but everything below is pretty dry. Just to show you how often or how long you should actually water for it to go through and through. Okay. So I will try to take this thing apart here. I wanna have healthy seedlings that are separate. Oh, I knew it. It fell apart. Okay, yeah, I just tried to get the separate seedlings out of this big chunk of seedlings here. I'm trying to maybe plant little groups of seedlings of 1 to 3 little seedlings. That gives them a little bit of stability, but it's not too many. Sometimes you have to be careful when you're repotting little seedlings. You can't keep them, like, you can't keep too many of them in one chunk of soil, because that makes it difficult to give them all an equally good position in the soil. So yeah, taking them apart if I have to. Okay. And the soil, again, this is completely dry, and I've been watering quite a lot. This is just a good thing to show how much you actually should water if you want to give that container a thorough watering. So I will clean them now, spray them a little bit for better visibility. So now I try to get the seedlings into the soil here. Okay. Yeah, and you will see within the next 1 or 2 months, these will glow up. They will do really well, because now they finally get a lot more light because they are much higher in the pot now. They were deep down in the beginning, and yeah, also they get oxygen. When I'm spraying them, like you've seen the big chunk of dry soil, it makes it harder to water seedlings specifically. And like this, you can the seedlings are at the very top, and it's easier to just know that you've given them enough water. A little bit more water. I feel like the soil is taking away the visibility here. Okay. Feel like maybe we can get them all into the new soil. I would try to move a few more into this container. We still have a lot of space here. In the beginning, cactus seedlings don't need that excessive space. So maybe we can fill up the holes in between with a few more seedlings here and there. Okay. And they already look good for being in such a like so little soil, relatively old soil. For that, they look okay. I hate this stuff. It's like playing in the sand lot, playing in the dirt. But you have to do it. Okay. Yeah. The fuller it gets, the more difficult it gets to really give all the seedlings equal chances. I think we're cutting it at this. This is not. I don't want to have much more seedlings in there because eventually we will have to move them again. Yeah. I'll get another container and then we try to split it up evenly a little bit. Maybe I move a few more, like I move a few back into the other container that I'm filling up now to have an even distribution of seedlings. Okay. Okay. Here's too much soil. This kind of stuff, like when you have a seedling that has something like this stuck at it, that is really entirely too much soil, too big of a chunk. Makes it really hard to move the seedling. Okay, I think this is it. Here's another one. Okay. Cleaning up a little, but this is a mess. My desk looks like swamp again. So I wanted to clean this up here. This is just too many seedlings at once. I don't like that when you have 6, 7, 8 seedlings together. Okay. I spread it up over 2 containers now. These are both the same. I will have to write a new label for the others. But this will be good. We'll give them slightly higher chances. But here's a seedling that I need to take out. This one, the little root broke off. The little root broke off. Unfortunately, sometimes when you try to get rid of the soil, you can break off that little thing, and that is usually the end. So I'm taking it out. We have so many seedlings that I'm not really that where I don't really need to save them all. At some point, we might even have to sort out a few, but we're not there yet. This is still manageable. And when they are a little bigger, we will decide what to sort out and what not. So, a little bit more water because everything is dry again. Okay. Trying to pot the seedlings relatively deep, and that gives them a little bit more stability now because they are currently like they have been removed out of little blocks of seedlings where they were growing besides each other. They did not have any kind of need to put strength into their base because they've been surrounded by other seedlings, but now that's missing. So I'm potting them a little bit deeper than they were previously, just to avoid that they are now falling over. It will take a while until they have. It's kind of like a muscle when a seedling has been shielded for too long, and that muscle is never trained. It's like when you have a plant that never feels wind. It will just never learn how to counterbalance a little. And with these here, that's the same. So yeah, potting them a little deeper because of that. It shouldn't really cause that big of an additional risk in regards to infections. Okay, good. So now let's clean the label, and then I will write another one for the second container. Okay. Oh, it's dirty again. Everything's dirty here. So this is KA 2024. '57. And the hybrid is called OTO, ruffled crossed with, what is this? Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung crossed with Despa. I really need new labels. I need bigger labels. These are not good. I don't like them. I have these tiny labels here, and when I write on them, it doesn't really. It looks like they are made in a way to that stuff doesn't stick to them. That the paint doesn't stick to them. It's very weird. Okay, yeah, these will go back now, back to the lamp, and we will have to move stuff there in the future. Right now, this is just consider it the first version, the first draft, okay? That's always when I report. I never am fully happy with it. I never say, okay, these might not need anything now. I take a look at them every time, and if there's a seedling that has changed, that sunk in too much, that leaned over now, I fix that. So for now, this is okay, but we will have to do something on this again. Okay. These need water again. I think I watered it just recently, but they need more. And then the soil needs to dry out again. To make sure that there's no fungus gnats able to bother with our nice little seedlings. Okay, what's this? Let me see. Oh yeah, I wanted to water these. Check this out. Very small seedlings that I took out probably due to fungus gnats. But now we have to really spray them. Apart from that, I mean, the soil, this is sowing soil. Soil has dried out, which was necessary. But apart from that, it's time to water now. Those don't look good. So just getting out of the gloves, and then I will start watering them. Oh, what a mess always on my desk, man. I wish that I need to build me a workplace here, something where I can really work clean, you know, like where I have I don't know, where I have space to report. I will try to build me a better video set for that. Okay, so I've watered them now, sprayed them a little, and now we have to take a close look at the seedlings. Some of those might have to be moved. Okay, yeah, just correcting some of the seedlings here that are too small, that are not in the soil properly, the way they are supposed to. When you have seedlings that are this small, and this is really the first stage of seedlings, you know, like the first days of a cactus seedling's life, you need to be careful about about bringing them out of humidity too fast. So these need a lot of attention today or within the next 2 days. I already see that some of the seedlings that were in there did not make it. Probably due to the fungus gnats, but I don't want to lose any more. So this will get watered now again. Change the position of the seedlings a little bit. There. Okay. Next one. I will get the tub here. This makes things easier, makes things a little cleaner. The tub of hydration. So check these out. I wanted to show you these. These are really stressed, and this is really dangerous. Like when I'm taking seedlings out of humidity a little early, this shows how dangerous it is. The seedlings have discolorations and pretty bad ones. That reddish, yellowish kind of discoloration, that is usually, when they are this small, it is a severe warning sign. So those need to be sprayed pretty thoroughly, and not once. Like when I'm watering them now, it will not be enough for today. They need water again later. In this case, seeing a discoloration like this on such small seedlings should be an instant warning, and they will get water today later again. These are little cactus seedlings. Let me see the label. This is a Pseudolobivia hybrid called 18A 2000 by Andreas Wessner. Echinopsis cacti with nice little flowers. They're really beautiful. But yeah, those need more water. We have grown quite a lot of different ones, maybe 150, 200 containers this year on the live stream in the last 2.5 months. And a lot of different ones, everyone with different kind of flower. And it will be great for the channel to show them long term in the next 5-6 years. That's usually how long they take until they flower. Okay. So yeah, these need water, but it's not so bad. Soil looks okay, like it has been watered not that long ago. So just watering them again a little bit now, and then I want that soil to dry out again. And I will really look at the soil later today to make sure that it dries out before I water again. Okay. These here have been transplanted, so they have been stressed just from moving them from one medium into another. And on top of that, we now have that stress of dehydration because they are very small. So they need more water also. These are on the way up on the list of seedlings that need the most care. I actually have a few chili here. Check it out. And these have been grown also on the live stream. I'm really happy about them. I'm usually just a cactus breeder. But I never really did much with vegetables, and I want to get into that. I try to be, to have less stress, to just have more fun, relaxation with that kind of hobby, growing plants, growing vegetables. So we will do a lot more in the future. But yeah, these are the first chilies that I've grown, and I'm pretty happy. We will see how it goes. So thank you. I really love that stuff because it's a new world for me. I've been breeding cacti for 25, 30 years now. But vegetables, it's like an entirely different thing. It's not easy compared to cacti or different kind of plants. You can really do, like there's a huge amount of new mistakes that you can make that I have never made. Like when you're just growing cacti, at some point you run out of things that you can make mistakes because you made them all. But now there's this new world of new mistakes to make. Yeah, I believe it's a great kind of activity. That's why I love it on the live stream. I feel like we have this is a great thing, you know, like a positive kind of subject. So yeah, great to have you. Thank you. Okay, so I want to water them. These look pretty stressed now, and they need water again later today, at least once more. They look dehydrated here. They look tiny. I feel like the seedlings have grown a little smaller, and that's not good. That's not a good sign. So they need more water. Sometimes when you're watering, that's why I say you can't water them all the same way. Some need a lot more water than others, and the smaller they are, the more water they might need. Okay. So these here, and there's a fungus gnat flying up. I hate them. I really hate them. Like the fungus gnats have been really a pest on the channel. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, I'm doing it every day, same time, and I really try to do it every day. Every now and then I miss a stream, but it's usually something where I stick to. And next month we are starting from outside, like live streaming from the garden with the flowers there. This is going to be a great year for the channel. So check it out. This will be great later on when the plants are flowering, the bigger ones. This is just the winter activity that I always do, because as a cactus breeder in winter, there's not like you're sowing out, you know, that is all you do. But there's a whole new world outside that we will bring on the live stream very soon. Thank you. I appreciate it, mate. Great to have you also. These have been transplanted, new soil, and yeah, for now they will sink in. We might have to correct a little bit with the seedlings. When you move seedlings, you've seen how it looks like in the first day. Check it out. This is a mess. This is a mess, and we will have to invest a lot of time to fix it long term. Okay, but it's a beginning. Don't try to do everything perfectly. Just do something, put them in the soil, start watering, and if something doesn't work, you can always react. Yeah, these need water. And this was one of the containers where I singled out. I had there's some containers that have way too many seedlings, like this one here. And so I started singling out, and this is one of them. And usually when you give them more space, they really reward you by growing well. So they get water now. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Like during the day, if they look thirsty, then I might water them again. But the bigger seedlings here at this size, you can already cut back with the watering a little bit. I want to get to a point, like the bigger the cactus seedlings are, the less sensitive they are to spraying them, to giving a lot of water. In the beginning, they just need a lot of water. Yeah, it's a totally different life when you, like, as a cactus breeder, you kind of, your job kind of stops for 5 months or so over winter, and that is really like by that time you have forgotten how it feels to be back in the garden, how much you miss that, you know, like. And when the new season finally begins and you are back in, like, with the birds outside, with the nice all the animals around, it's just a great feeling, and you only know how much you missed it when it finally happens again. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, these here, very small, very dangerous situation. They need more water. You can see how dry it is. But again, I try to let the soil dry out. That is That is the difficult part. Finding that sweet spot that doesn't really, where it doesn't really go great for the fungus gnats, but it goes well for the seedlings. Seedlings just take a little bit more drought than the fungus gnats, and that's what you try to. That's where you try to aim at, getting that. Okay. You can, of course, you can kind of avoid fungus gnat problems by using a mineral soil, but yeah, that has entirely different problems and risks and all that stuff. Yeah, it's the same here. Greetings to Australia, by the way. Great to have you. Yeah, it's the same here. We have, like, in the last years, we had excessive flooding here. The area where I live, we never really had that insane, like, regular rainfall every year where it washes everything away. But now, like, when we have these excessive heat waves in summer, and during that time the soil dries out so much that the moment it rains, it's flooding everything over. Like, the nearby area here has been heavily flooded a few years ago, and I'm just lucky that I'm like on top of a hill. So yeah, it's bad. This is kind of, the weather wasn't like this before. Like 20 years ago, I still remember how the weather was. We didn't need to have air conditioning. Like, in the last 2 or 3 years, the summer was so bad that I consider getting an air conditioner now, like for the house. And I never needed that. We have these excessively hot summers now, and then suddenly 3 months of rain. That is the kind of stuff. That's the kind of summer experience that I very often have here. Good morning. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that is really, like, that kind of a constant rain. It's really bad weather for cacti. I hate that kind of stuff. But yeah, maybe it gets, like, I don't know, maybe it gets better again. In Europe, air conditioning has never really been that big of a deal. Like, they never really needed that in the past. I was always, like, in the beginning, when air conditions, whatever they are called, when those became more common, I didn't even know what it is. And yeah, it's just because most of the problems here that people had, like, were with the cold, having too much, like, having excessively cold winters, that kind of stuff. We aren't really used to that excessive heat where you can't be outside anymore. That is an entirely new experience, at least for me here. I haven't had these kind of, like, many of those summers that I remember where it was so hot that you can barely, like, for months, you know, like, that is really excessive. But yeah, I still remember, like, 15, 20 years ago, during winter, we had temperatures of minus 20 degrees Celsius, minus 20 to minus 25. And that's just maybe 20 years ago. And we haven't had that anymore. Like, these kind of cold winters, we don't have anymore either. Yeah, I'm sure, look, this is mostly a human problem. Like, with the climate. I never really humans aren't really great for the planet, the way we live our lives, you know, and the planet will recover. The planet will be fine long term, but we might not be. So yeah. So I'm not really that worried about it, because if the worst thing happens, the planet will recover and will continue to have a healthy, hopefully be a healthy planet without us, if we really can't get that under control, you know. like I feel like if this kind of stuff wouldn't have been so heavily politicized, things would be better. People love to argue. People love to argue about everything. But if there's different things we could do to improve the situation, we should do it. I guess it's in our best interest. The worst that can happen is that we do something that wasn't necessary, you know. So yeah, but right now, like the way it is now, I pay less in heating costs. When I got started here as a cactus breeder, it was hard to even overwinter in a greenhouse without having excessive electricity costs or heating costs. So in that regard, the situation has become a little bit more affordable in the way that I don't have to pay so much for the heating every year in the greenhouses. Yeah, the cacti. I mean, when I was just walking through the greenhouses, I saw that a few didn't make it, like from cold temperatures, just from the frost. So it's still too cold for some, you know. And in the next year, I will have the heater a little bit higher, everything a little bit warmer. I always try to have the minimum heating costs, but I might have to heat a little bit more on the long run. It's just difficult when you have many different cacti like I do, as some of them can take entirely different temperatures than others. So in general, next year, I think I will have a winter temperature in the greenhouse of maybe 3 degrees Celsius. That's the plan right now. Just to, like, after going through the greenhouses this week and looking at the seedlings, looking at which ones didn't make it due to frost in the greenhouses, I will have the temperature a little higher in the future, and that will cost a little bit more to heat the greenhouse. But on the long run, it will be a wise investment. I just feel like I lost too many seedlings this year. Also, that's why I brought them all inside now. Allows me to show them for the live stream, and also I have them inside for a little longer, where I can control the temperature a little bit more. Okay, yeah, I'm watering a little bit more. We have a few more seedlings that I want to water, but apart from that, we're almost through. So let me just move a few of the seedlings into the container, and then I will spray them one by one. And everything that I'm putting in the tub right now needs water urgently. This has a fair amount of pumice as a top layer, a little bit as a top layer. It wasn't intended as that, but it doesn't look bad. Okay, this needs water. And in this one, I feel like we might have to single out very soon too. Those look like some in between don't look good. I don't like how some of the seedlings look. I feel like these need to be in a new soil. Okay, here's one. And I hope that eventually our chili will start to flower, will start to have the little fruit on them. For now, they are just growing again. I will bring them into the live stream from time to time, and in the next, in the future, we will sow out other stuff too. I haven't decided what. I want to grow pawpaw, but I haven't gotten seeds yet. But I will make sure to get a few more plants for the live stream that are not cacti, so I can, so we can branch out a little and do a little general gardening from time to time. Okay. Oh, and I want to spray this one again. This one I almost lost. Repotted it now. New soil. And this gets water too. Okay. Yeah, and then everything will dry out again today. We'll let everything dry out. There are a few with the smaller seedlings that need water again later. Two or three times water today for the really tiny ones like these here. Like this. They really need it. And the bigger ones here, like this, I think it will be all right to not water them for the rest of the day. We will see. Everything is now getting to a point where the seedlings can take a little bit more, where they can handle a little bit of being dry for half a day. But again, there are everywhere little seedlings in between that might need a little bit more water. Okay, so this goes back. I will move them to the lamp again. I have them under a plant lamp, classic grow lamp. I think it has 150 watt electricity, and yeah, they are developing nicely. It helps that the soil dries out. That is one of the reasons why I use the plant lamp. It allows the soil to dry out within a day, like it would be outside in the sun in a greenhouse. You don't have these times where the soil stays wet for weeks. Thank you. That is great. Yeah, I'm doing my best here. I'm really doing my best. I have a huge garden. We could do great things here. And I just see where it leads me, like the live stream. I never did live stream before. I never wanted to do live stream, and then I did it, and it was great. It was fun. It's interactive. What I really like, that people can ask a question that you don't have when you have a video. And yeah, I will do a lot of that in the future with everything on the garden here, on the farm. Let's call it a farm. I have a huge jungle that I constantly battle against to keep the trees from the greenhouses away, to have light. And every year the stuff grows back. So we might have actually a lot of good stuff that we could do here. Maybe plant a few trees here and there. A little bit of fruit shrubs. That would be great. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, I meant actual, the type of plants that I'm growing. It's mostly boring vegetable stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, but it would be legal. But it's nothing that I would do on a live stream or something like that, Everything that I'm doing on the live streams, family friendly, boring stuff, I like it like that. I don't like to have that kind of stressful, to work in a stressful niche. I like that. Yeah, it's just a fun kind of hobby without having all that high attention instantly from the platform. We're just gardening a little. It's a great thing. I enjoy that. So yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, it was great again today. I think this will be the end of the live stream. I'm happy to take more questions if you like. If not, I will just be here again tomorrow. Oh yeah, of course, but it doesn't really it makes no sense if I can't really show it on the live stream. I love to do this kind of a large part. Why I'm doing it is because I enjoy just having contact with people. And yeah, it's not the kind of, they've been deleting profiles everywhere and all kind of social media. And yeah, that's too stressful for me. I enjoy it with my flower hybrids, with my chili. That's good enough. I appreciate that. It lets me, I really need to learn how to relax, become a little calmer. And I feel like by gardening more, maybe I have a chance to avoid having I don't know, heart attack before I'm 50. So yeah. But again, thank you guys. It's been great to be here. I always enjoy the live stream, and I will be back tomorrow again. If you guys want, you are wholeheartedly invited to be back here. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I consider, like, I would like, in the past, I've experienced a lot of censorship on other platforms. You know, I know how it is today to be a content creator, to do the videos, and I try to do it in a way that I don't want to be put into a niche, you know, like where instantly kind of seen as where they stop taking you seriously just because you do a certain type of content, you know. You know how it is. It happens very fast on these kind of platforms, and I try my best to just be versatile. I just do what's fun on the live stream. If they one day make that kind of stuff easier, maybe I'll reconsider, you know. But society isn't there yet to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just enjoy doing the cacti here and there, and a few vegetables. Next time I would see what we could also grow. I've sown out a few kiwi, but the kiwi didn't come up. I suspect that I kind of made a mistake with the cold treatment that they need. But yeah, I will bring in more stuff for the future. Maybe a few shrubs here and there, fruit shrubs, that kind of stuff. Okay, guys. Thank you again. It was great that you were here. Thank you for spending time with me all the day, all the time, every day. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, okay? Thank you, guys. I loved this today. It was a great stream, and I will be back tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Have a great Sunday. Thank you.